New York. After body cam video was released by police there.
At 304-232-8600. Allow us to help put you back on the road to financial success.
Wheeling Coin and Hobby on 10th Street in Wheeling, next to the Bridge Tavern in downtown Wheeling, wants to buy any and all unwanted gold and silver jewelry. They are paying top dollar for 10, 14, 18, and 22 karat gold plus 925 sterling silver. They also want to buy collectible coins and paper money from before 1933. Wheeling Coin and Hobby is open daily from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., Monday through Saturday. Coin and Hobby, 304-232-8430, and add them on Facebook.
Plumbers and Steam Fitters Local 83 want to thank the owners and contractors of the Ohio Valley for using their locally trained workers to help build for the future. Local 83 helps design, fabricate, and build the gas infrastructure for the oil and gas industry here in the Ohio Valley. Plumbers and Steam Fitters Local 83 is 300 members strong and growing. They also do residential, commercial, and industrial work on both sides of the river. For more information, call Plumbers and Steam Fitters Local 83 at 304-233-4445.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Just like they always do, Quaker Steak and Lube at the Highlands continues to serve the Ohio Valley. The Lube is still open for carryout and now offering their $10 meal deal every day of the week. Get 1 entree and 1 sidecar for just $10. Pick from steak, wings, ribs, and more. Call in or order online at thelube.com and follow them on Facebook to stay up to date on their latest specials and promotions.
Hello, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm Darnell Foster. With a look at your local weather forecast for your Thursday. Mostly cloudy with showers and storms on and off through the day. High near 81. Overnight low of 67 degrees, mostly cloudy skies. Mostly cloudy skies for your Friday, with temperatures in the mid to upper 70s. Have yourself a great day, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm Darnell Foster.
The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of this station or its sponsors.
You folks ready for a show?
When does the show start?
Yeah, just started.
Is this Thursday?
Today is today. Today is Thursday. What's on the agenda for today?
It's just a regular Thursday.
It's not a regular, though.
We've got a very uplifting show today.
This show will rot your teeth, you know. Because they are so sweet.
Because you're so sweet.
It should be a lot of fun.
So without further ado, please enjoy our show.
Live and local in the Ohio Valley. This is the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe.
Everybody okay out there? Daddy, you okay out there? Oh, something fell. Oh, it wasn't Teddy, it was Grandma? Okay, never mind. Literally right before I began to talk, something went crashing down out in the front room. I thought surely it was Teddy. No, it was Grandma. I'm afraid to ask what she did. So I think I'll just be quiet. I'll just be quiet.
Yeah.
I will just leave it alone. I do have a visitor. Teddy was with us all night last night, so he got up about half an hour ago, 15 minutes ago, and was kind of quietly wandering the house as he has not yet awakened yet. But he got an axe, a little plastic axe, like the Grim Reaper holds. I don't know what prompted him to want that, but he did. So I had it in here in my office, home studio. He came in to get that, but he left me someone to watch with me. He left me Patrick. If you're watching on Facebook Live video or YouTube, this is Patrick from SpongeBob SquarePants. He thought Patrick would like to watch the show today. So my audience here is Patrick from SpongeBob SquarePants. And something went crashing down out in the other room. God knows what it was, but apparently, I guess Teddy's okay. It's just poor Grandma I have to worry about. Oh, I hope nothing happened to her. At least not until I get my sausage, gravy, and biscuits. Or a sandwich. Both. Anyway, coming up today here on the Watchdog Morning Show, reports say the city of Wheeling is preparing to remove multiple homeless camps on the creek bank. I offered my thoughts on that earlier this morning. I may chat a bit more about it before we're over and done with. I don't know. If I do, fine. If not, you can catch my thoughts on our podcast page. I'll put up the little rant I had about this. It wasn't really a rant, because a rant is usually when I absolutely want something done, and I don't know what needs to be done with this homeless situation. I'm bothered by what the city is doing, but I completely understand it. I don't have any better idea. So check that out on podcast later on today. The other major subject of the morning this morning has been getting back to school. Yesterday, the AFT in West Virginia and Democratic gubernatorial candidate Ben Salongo raised questions about whether schools across the state are adequately prepared to protect students and staff. Do they have enough PPE, enough hand sanitizers, enough masks, and so on as the school year gets closer and closer? It seems to be, to some extent, a county-by-county situation. We talked to WVEA President Dale Lee about that a little bit earlier on this morning here on the Watchdog Morning Show. A new national survey I'll get to in a minute here gives us a sense of the impact of school changes on parents, including some parents who've ended up having to actually quit their jobs in order to maintain their kids at home. Morgantown bars reopened basically one day after the governor they were open one day before the governor closed them again yesterday. We will talk about that. The governor defends his policy reversal on football in the orange-colored counties. How many ads do we see during televised football games? I've got an answer for you coming up in this hour. And do political ads really change anybody's mind? Plus, The Rock as the coronavirus target, selling a new line of clothing. End of summer tantrums are back. I've got all of this coming up. Weather-wise, sporadic rain showers, possible storms today. Going to be kind of an overcast and verstucken sort of day. High today around 81, 82 or so. Currently 69 degrees at the Wheeling, Ohio County Airport and 68 at the Robinson Auto Group Studios downtown Wheeling in the heart of the Ohio Valley. I know Election Day is getting closer and closer. It's hard to believe we're, about 8 weeks out of Election Day, 9 weeks out from Election Day. One way I know that is we begin next week in a sponsored segment every Wednesday. The local building trades will be presenting to you through us interviews with some of the key candidates the unions think are important for you to know about. That'll be every Wednesday here on the Watchdog Morning Show between next Wednesday and Election Day. We will start next week with Randy Schwartzmiller. Randy was with us earlier this week talking about some things. He'll be with us again next week to talk about that. Doug Giffen is coming in to kind of coordinate all that along with me. So that begins next Wednesday, and then every Wednesday between next week and essentially Election Day. And Biff, that means it's hard to believe, but we are counting down to Election Day. Man.
Yeah, we're 2 months away.
It's coming quick. It is coming very quick. I think it's 8 weeks of these interviews, which means we're basically 9 weeks away from the election. So, holy mackerel, hard to believe, but there it is. We were talking last hour about the color-coded maps, the ones that the governor created, the ones the governor set up the stipulations for, and of course the ones the governor now doesn't really like to follow, apparently, as much as he thought he would. But I have not seen the latest map, Biffy. You have the latest map there, is that right?
Yes, this is before they do the updated one for today. This was yesterday at 10 o'clock is the one that I have.
And there will be a new map coming out today. Now, these maps, again, I don't know what the story is. Supposedly, it's Saturday's map that defines what happens for the coming week. But we're getting these maps every day, and I don't know if during the week we're supposed to pay attention to them or not. But anyway, what do we have? 4 counties in orange now? 4 orange counties across the state?
Actually, we have 5 counties now in orange.
5.
Yes, 5 in orange and 1 in red.
Okay, let's talk. Who are they?
The counties that are in orange would be Boone, Fayette, Kanawha, Mingo, and Monongalia.
Okay, so Boone is added since I had this list. So it's Monongalia, Kanawha, Fayette, Mingo, Logan, and then Boone County. Boone now, right? Hi, little buddy. What do you need? Excuse me 1 minute, Biff. The important thing is, you need Patrick? Okay, pal. Bye, Patrick. Bye, Teddy. Can I have a hug? Do I get a hug? Come here and give me a hug. Thank you. Love you. Love you too, he says. didn't want to make too much noise. I'm sorry. Hey, this is what happens when you broadcast from home and when you got the little one in the house. So I apologize, Biffy. So, all right. So Monongalia, Kanawha, Fayette, Logan, Mingo, and Boone. Is that right?
Actually, wait a minute. I think take Boone out of orange. They are yellow.
Okay. Oh, Boone is okay.
Boone is yellow. Okay, so Kanawha, Fayette, Logan, Mingo, and Monongalia.
All right. And we got to keep a close eye on Mon County. Again, I know that earlier this week they were one positive test away from going into the red category. But again, who knows what, and who's red? You said there's somebody red. Who's red?
Yeah, Monroe County is still red if they were before.
Okay, so Monroe County is no activities, only remote learning, period. I think that's the way, that's what the guidelines are. The ones that are in orange, activities are, well, football, I guess, is suspended in all those counties, right? And then you do a combination of remote learning and in-person learning, I think. But again, a couple of questions. The questions are, which map do we pay attention to right now? And I've said before, the two things that school systems need to worry about, number one, of course, is safety. And then number two is consistency. And if you're an administrator right now in counties that are orange, maybe could go into a red or that are deeply orange or whatever, are you scratching your head going, I don't know what I'm supposed to do next week? I don't know. And to keep in mind, the governor sometimes just changes his mind, just changes his policies. Well, now I know you're orange. We're going to figure out a way to get you there anyway, which of course is ridiculous because the point of the color coding is to make sure that we're safe based on numbers. It's not to just come up with, it's not to like, it's not like a coloring book for Teddy just to color the colors in. It's to actually serve a purpose. But the governor from time to time just wants to change it. So again, Mon County, we've got to watch very closely because they could go in and, Kanawha County, I saw a report yesterday saying that they are likely to be orange for quite some time. They're not going to go back down to yellow. We have one yellow county up in the Panhandle. Is that right, Biff?
Yeah, we have one yellow, and that would be Brooke County.
Everybody else in the Panhandle is in the green category.
Yeah, everybody else is in the green. You've got, other than Brooke County, which is yellow, and Monongalia, which we said was orange, everyone else pretty much from Hancock County until you get down to about Jackson County and Roane County is where the yellow starts. Anything above that, with the exception of Brooke and Monongalia, is green.
Mm-hmm. So basically, with the exception of Mon County, and Brooke is now yellow, but the entire northern part of the state, and really a little bit more than it's not really half, it's a little bit more than the northern part of the state, but the entire northern tier is in green. And that's good. I mean, that's good. I think we have some problems over in the eastern Panhandle a little bit, and then quite a few problems down in the southern part of the state. Here's the thing, what we don't want is to discover the Panhandle having to go the route of some of those southern counties, which is why we have to make sure that we're following all of these proper guidelines. One of the things that happens when you go into, I used to have the list in front of me, when you go into orange, I guess, is that the number of people who can watch football games, well, no, orange is no football games at all, right?
Yeah, I think orange is not. Yeah, it's either green or yellow. You have to be in the green or yellow. Anything in orange and red is the like for the schools, it's the mix of online or just all online only.
And in those cases, orange and red, there is no extracurricular activities, basically, no football and so on. Now, if you are, so I think I have this right. So if you're green, of course, we've talked before about who can, not everybody can come to watch a football game, but to a large extent, it's, what do they call it? Parents and extended family, I think. Parents, guardians, and extended family.
Yeah,
but if you go into the yellow category, then they go only down to parents and immediate family. I'm sure that's defined somewhere. I don't know what that is. Ryan Weld from the Northern Panhandle, a state senator, says he thinks the grandparents should be added to the list of those who can attend any sporting event. He says that right now we're already limiting the people who can go to the games. I think about a football stadium on Friday night. The stadium holds 10,000 people. I think we could probably accomplish social distancing, but still allow for parents and grandparents, because what if one student has a grandmother that lives with them, but the other grandmother doesn't, so now the state is entered into picking a winner and a loser? Well, I somewhat disagree. Yes, as a grandparent, I think it'd be great that grandparents are included, but the truth of the matter is it ought to stay. When they go to extended family, when you're in a green, extended family, I think should include grandparents. But once it goes past that, I don't think they, as much as I am a grandparent and would hate to miss anything that Teddy ever does, the truth of the matter is grandparents probably should not be on that list.
I wonder if...
So I think...
I wonder if they've thought of the scenario, because I'm sure in some households this is the case. What do you do if your grandparents are considered the legal guardian?
Well, if I remember correctly, and again, I had this stuff in front of me for several days, and it's no longer on my desk right now. But if I remember correctly, the guidelines are for even in yellow, the guidelines are parents or guardians. So I would assume if the grandparent is the official guardian, now it doesn't mean that you just watch your kids. I mean, we watch Teddy, but we are not his official guardians.
Right.
But if you are the official guardian of a child, I would think that then lets you in to watch the games as if you were the parent. I think I understand that correctly. It's a mess, Biffy.
It is. And again, it all goes to one thing: leadership. It's all about leadership.
Yep. It goes to the leadership, consistency, transparency. You need leadership setting the standards. You need leadership to have consistent standards and not say, well, now I don't know. I know I said nobody could play football in orange, but maybe we could play football if you're orange. That's not consistent. You need consistency. You need leadership. You need consistency. And you need transparency. Everybody needs to know what these guidelines are. And they do put them up online, and I'm sure the school systems are trying their best to get the information out, but those are the critical things. But you hit the nail on the head, Biffy. It begins with leadership. It begins with setting a firm and standard guideline from the top, based on something. I would like to see it based on science and public health facts, but based on something, not just, well, now, you know. Remember when he came out with some of these numbers on the color-coded maps the first time around? And was it the Harvard model that we were basing this on? And it's, X number of cases per X number of positive cases per 100,000 in any given county. And the governor followed to a large extent the Harvard model until it got to green counties, and he adapted it. And why did we do it? He said, well, I think this way we can get more people in green. Well, that's not the point. It's not to create a scenario where more people can go. It's to follow guidelines and let people go safely. But the governor just wants to every day, well, now today I think we're going to do this. Today we're going to do that. Earlier this week, he's decided that the counties, even though he set up the guidelines, orange counties cannot play football. And the counties that were in orange on Monday, the three counties, which were Fayette, Logan, I think, and Kanawha at that time, those three counties could not play football. And they already rescheduled their games and took things off the agenda and so on. And then the governor said, well, now, I saw some parents protesting down there in Charleston. I think maybe we should figure out how to let these orange people play after all. And he came up with this idea of a one-off testing that he was going to have done for athletes who are in the orange categories. And thank God, and the counties themselves said, no, sir, thank you very much, but no, sir. You didn't think this through. Governor, you didn't think it through. We'll take the hit of not being able to play this week because we're orange, with the hope we'll be back in yellow or green next week. In the meantime, if we are tested today and too many of our kids test positive, we could be out for several weeks. So thank you, but no thank you. Might have helped if you had asked us ahead of time, Governor. And then yesterday, the governor, because I must be right, they do not understand. The governor comes out yesterday and starts talking about how, why, they missed their opportunity. They should have done what I told them to do. This was a ridiculous thing they rejected on me. I'm only trying to get things done. People, they said I didn't talk to anybody when I talked to, and I quote here, thousands of phone calls, thousands of people about what's the right thing to do. When the question was, well, did you talk to the superintendents involved? I kind of wish I had had some time to do that, but I really didn't have time to talk to those superintendents. Well, they had time to talk to you, Governor, and they basically said, thank you, no thank you, we'll take care of things on our own. Anyways, follow the guidelines, follow the guidelines, follow the guidelines. WVU's president says he's disappointed at students gathering at the Morgantown bars. The governor opened the bars up Monday, right? I mean, just opened them up on Monday. Am I right about that? I think I'm right, Biffy.
Yeah, it was either Monday or Tuesday.
He opened the bars up in Morgantown, and we said on this show, what's going to happen? It's going to cause all kinds of problems. He opened the bars up. There are pictures circulating around the internet of people lined up 6 deep at various Morgantown bars. Nobody's social distancing. These are students who want to drink. I've been a WVU student. I know what it means to want to drink. And so they were lined up all around the bars. And so the governor yesterday had to shut them down again. Shut them down again. Open for 24 hours or thereabouts. And then he had to shut them down again. E. Gordon Gee, the president of WVU, who will be on with Hoppy Kercheval coming up after the 10 o'clock news break, released a letter yesterday saying, I am aware of the photos and commentary showing WVU students gathering outside local bars in downtown Morgantown. To say that I am disappointed would be an understatement. And I appreciate the fact that Gee put that letter out, but here's the reality. Does anybody care that he's disappointed? Do any of these students who wanted to gather around the bars in Morgantown and just belly up to the bar and have a bunch of beers, do they really care that the guy with the bow tie is upset and disappointed in them? Oh, maybe some, yes, but I don't think so. Gee says that he thought WVU students of age would indeed patronize bars, but would follow proper safety protocols, social distancing and masks and so on. Biffy, we said this when the governor first reopened the bars, and even some of the local bar owners said this too. The nature of a bar is to socialize.
Yes, it is.
Now, I'm not talking about a restaurant that serves alcohol where, you want to have a beer with your dinner. That's a different story. But the nature of a bar is to socialize. Nobody wants to social distance at a bar. And I get it that it's a huge economic problem for bars. I really do. Which I would think would probably make the bar owners more insistent, because I can tell you even locally, there are some that are getting close to having to be shut down because they're not following proper guidelines. I would think if you're a bar owner and you're watching your business in serious trouble and you want to get as much business as you can, I would think you would work exceedingly hard at following the proper guidelines, at maintaining social distancing. I don't know exactly how you do it. It may be as simple as having your bartenders and the people in your place walk around and go, excuse me, you guys have got to split apart here somewhat. Because the nature is to socialize. It's like we talked about last hour, Biffy, with students. When school is in session next week, the classrooms can be socially distant. They can set up only half the number of students in a classroom as compared to usual. They can assign seats so that every other seat or every third seat is empty. They can do all of that stuff. But the trouble is, kids aren't gonna follow that. I mean, they might sit in their seats, but they're gonna hug, they're gonna run around, they're gonna play with each other.
Well,
it's just human nature.
It is, and here's the other thing too. I mean, you can socially distance a classroom. You can't socially distance a hallway.
Exactly.
I mean, kids will be kids. You know, they're going to want to. They're going to want to goof around and, you know, do whatever kids do in the hall. Trust me, we did it. We did it when we were in school. It hasn't changed. I mean, that's just it's the nature of high school students.
We know wherever we speak, Biff. I mean that's what we're talking about.
So
the younger kids are going to want to hug and, you know, squeeze each other. That's the nature of younger kids. And older kids, high school kids, for example, or junior high for that matter, they may not want to hug each other. Well, some of them may want to hug each other, but they may not want to hug each other. But they're going to go out in the hallway between classes and socialize in non-socially distant settings. I mean, it's as simple as that. It's going to happen. And that's been bothering me all along, is that I don't know that we're preparing for the reality of what's going to happen when school starts. Not write the guidelines down and try to follow them stuff, but the reality of how people are going to respond. Kids, and maybe even teachers to some extent as well. So it's...
now the deal with
I just think...
The deal with the bars, how does the governor... how does he go about shutting them down? I mean, he doesn't have to have, the police or them come and close them, do they? I mean, do the owners do that, or... I mean, how does he enforce it?
The owners, I mean, I don't know. If a bar chooses to ignore... He has now put into effect a rule that bars must be closed as of 4:30, I think it was yesterday afternoon, in Morgantown, not across the state, but in Morgantown. And I suppose if you violate that, you're in violation of the order, and you could get the ABCA involved, you could get the health department involved, you could get the police involved. Again, if you're a bar owner, what you don't want to do is put your license in jeopardy. If you're a bar owner and you're having a difficult time to begin with, and believe me, I comprehend it, I truly, truly do. What you don't want is to be in a position where the ABCA is going to come in at some point and go, yep, you have violated too many rules and regulations, we're pulling your license. You don't want that. Or even suspending it for a period of time. You don't want that. So, hopefully, I mean, I can't...
I mean, not that I'm saying any of the bars in Morgantown are gonna do that, but I mean, you may have maybe one that says, you know what, to heck with it, we're going to try it anyway.
Yeah, and I started to say I don't think anybody would, and then I caught myself, because the truth of the matter is, Biffy, I guess I can imagine some bar owners trying to do that. I can imagine some bar owners here in the local area that already are violating guidelines. Flagrantly, willfully, openly. And at some point, it's going to catch up with them. And again, in the end, you're going to lose more by trying to squeeze a little bit extra out as opposed to following the guidelines. So, and I don't know, here's my story here. Did the governor set a time period on the Morgantown bars again? Story I have here just says closed at 4 p.m. yesterday, so I don't know what the time frame on that is. Meanwhile, as far as numbers go, active coronavirus cases in West Virginia increased by 29% over the last 7 days, almost a 30% increase in active cases, and the death numbers are rising as well. We had another death in Ohio County. 7, is that right, Biffy? I think it's 7 deaths now in Ohio County.
I think so.
Let's see, 18 deaths in the state between Wednesday and Sunday of this past week. So the number of cases are growing, the number of deaths growing, outbreaks in long-term care facilities and churches and elsewhere are growing as well. We're going to find ourselves in a bad position again, and we don't want to be there. But nobody wants to understand how important playing by the rules is. Somebody said to me yesterday about Ogilvy Fest when it was canceled. And how many cases do we have in Ohio County? And only 6 deaths, 6 at the time, 7 deaths now. Yeah, and for that, we're going to cancel Ogilvy Fest. We don't want 20 deaths. We don't want 52 new cases. That's why it's not how many cases we have, it's what this can lead to if we're not careful about it. That's what we're trying to stop. Stop the spread. And despite the people who say things like, well, it's not that big a deal, only a handful of deaths. First of all, we certainly say one death is too much if it's in your family. One death is too much if it's in your family. And number two, look at the number of deaths nationwide from the coronavirus. More than all who were killed in the Vietnam War. Think about that. More than the people who were killed, I think, in World War I. Think about that. This is not inconsequential. But I will get criticism, I will get flack when I check text line or when I check my social media. People will be yelling at me and saying, you don't understand, Howard, this is America, we got to get back to work. Well, all I know is I want to live. 8:40, 22 of the hour on the Watchdog Morning Show. Let's check some headlines from our friends at Metro News, a few other odds and ends I want to get to, and then we'll head into the home stretch with Bob Westfall from the Big 7, WTRF-TV, coming up.
The Metro News Update is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
If I'll use those two Wise Brother cuts coming up.
At the state capitol. You're listening to Metro News, the voice of West Virginia. Meteorologists with the National Weather Service say heavy rains possible out of the storms pushing through the mountain state today. More rain for some already drenched areas. Flood watches are posted into this evening in more than 20 counties in central and western West Virginia. Drier and cooler weather's on tap for the Labor Day weekend. Testing's beginning today at the State Police Academy in Kanawha County for the next class of State Police cadets. Training starts in January. From the Metro News Anchor Desk, I'm Shauna Johnson.
This is your VSIN Action Update on the Watchdog. This Action Update brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts, your professional parts people. Get guaranteed low prices and excellent customer service at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
Pirates and Cubs wrap up their series this afternoon at PNC Park. The Cubs winners of 3 straight after an 8-2 win yesterday, a $1.48 favorite. The Pirates are the plus 138 underdog. J.T. Brubaker on the mound with the Pirates. Alec Mills pitching for the Cubs. A total 9.5 shaded to the under. Flyers minus 105 against the New York Islanders minus 115 in Toronto today. Game 6 of the Eastern Conference semifinals. The total 5 over. The Islanders up 3 games to 2. Kevin Harvick and Denny Hamlin are the plus 250 co-favorites to win the Cookout Southern 500 at Darlington Sunday. For vsin.com, I'm Mike Sennett on the Watchdog.
Hello, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm Darnell Foster. With a look at your local weather forecast for your Thursday. Mostly cloudy with showers and storms on and off through the day. High near 81. Overnight low of 67 degrees, mostly cloudy skies. Mostly cloudy skies for your Friday, with temperatures in the mid to upper 70s. Have yourself a great day, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm Darnell Foster.
You can now watch the Legislative Watchdogs every Wednesday morning from 9 to 10 a.m. on Facebook Live. Talk radio taken to the next level. Only on the Watchdog. Give us a call and tell us what you're thinking. Locally, 304-214-1600. Out of the area, toll free, 866-514-1600 or 304-232-TALK.
Watch out! He could climb on his soapbox at any time. The Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe continues.
It is 17 till the hour and 70 degrees, a little bit overcast and rainy outside this morning. Going to stay that way much of the day today. You know, it's not just wimps like me that are worried about coronavirus. It's not just wimps like me that, pardon me, get the coronavirus. I didn't get it, even though I just coughed there. That was not a coronavirus cough. That was something that caught in my throat, which gives me a chance to get a little sip of Dr. Pepper there. Getting hungry, too. Trying to think what I'm going to have for breakfast. I'm out of sausage, gravy, and biscuits. Doesn't mean I couldn't order more. It's become my go-to morning breakfast anymore, Vivi. Anyway, it's not just wimps like me that worry about the COVID virus. It is among the most powerful people in the world. And no, I don't mean powerful Pierre, who's going to co-host the Donnie Gilbert show today. I'm talking about The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. The Rock, his wife, their two daughters, they have COVID-19. Now, they are on the other side of it. They are getting better now. But even The Rock said it was one of the most challenging and difficult things he has ever gone through. The Rock points out, I've been injured. I've had all kinds of problems. But overcoming this was much more difficult.
My wife Lauren, as well as my two baby girls, and myself, we have all tested positive for COVID-19. And I could tell you that this has been one of the most challenging and difficult things we have ever had to endure as a family. Testing positive for COVID-19 is much different than overcoming nasty injuries or being evicted or even being broke, which I have been more than a few times. But I am happy to tell you guys that we as a family are good. We are on the other end of it, and we are no longer contagious, and we are, thank God, we are healthy.
So it's not just wimps like me that have to worry about it. Even The Rock can catch the coronavirus. My guess is he can survive it better than I could. However, I'm just making a guess about that. On one who did not, Biffy, on a related note, Hall of Fame Mets pitcher Tom Seaver died yesterday, and coronavirus was part of the contributing factors to his death. Now, he did have other issues. He had Lewy body dementia as well, and he was 75 years old, but he died, but COVID hit him and made those problems worse. So Tom Seaver, dead of coronavirus and other factors at the age of 75. And I just chuckle. No, I don't chuckle. It depresses me how many people have decided. There's a report that came out this week. The CDC pointed out in a new report that came out that many people who are listed as coronavirus cause of death had other problems as well. They had heart problems, they had lung problems, they had what have you. But it was coronavirus that increased those problems to the point of death. And so a lot of people, well, just goes to show you, they're just trying to make this all up. They're just trying to make it sound like it's worse than it is. Well, these people didn't die of coronavirus, they died of pneumonia, they died of heart disease. Well, yeah, except they wouldn't have necessarily died if they didn't have the coronavirus, the complicated matters. As a general rule, very few people die of one thing and one thing only. Yes, sometimes you have a heart attack, bam, you're gone. But as a general rule, you have a variety of different issues, all of which contribute. I know in my case, when I was in the hospital back in December, and I went in for heart issues because scans were showing some things were wrong, and they actually quickly fixed the heart issue, put the pacemaker in, shocked my heart, all as well. It normally is something that I would have been in and out of the hospital in 24 hours. I was there for 14 days. Why? Because other functions of my body began to fail at the same time. My point is that very seldom do you have one thing that's it. So coronavirus is what multiplies, if you will, the effect of other problems. And that's, so this idea, well, you see, it's just another example of how the media is trying to make things worse. That's just not the case at all. If you want to stop the coronavirus spread, Biffy, talk softly. Apparently, according to some numbers that are out now, if we all talked less and talked quietly in public, instead of yelling, it would reduce the risk of transmitting the coronavirus as much as wearing a mask does. Just stop yelling. Stop talking to the extent you can, and talk quietly.
Good luck with that.
Churches. Go ahead, Biffy.
I was going to say, good luck with that, because that's like telling the kids at school to not go in the halls and do whatever they do in the hallways.
Yes, that's exactly right. And yet it makes sense. Churches, for example, are being reminded that singing in church is a bigger problem than other parts of your worship service. Because when you sing, you expel the virus more aggressively into the air, farther, and all that kind of stuff. Same thing is true of talking, period, and certainly talking loudly creates a real problem. So just talk a little quieter. By the way, for men, think about this. If you're not too worried about coronavirus, well, I don't know. If I have a breathing problem, I'll get through it. Here's just a little something for you to be aware of. Coronavirus, Biffy, can make men's testicles swell. Just thought I'd mention that. So you guys are going, that's not a big deal. Yeah, okay. I'm just saying. Let's see, what else do I have here? Biffy, do we have the bar bet story from yesterday, cut 12 from yesterday?
I think so.
Can you find it real quick?
Yeah.
Okay. A bar on Long Island called the Clifton is catching heat for a contest they're having. Now, we talk about FanDuel and betting and all that kind of stuff. So they're betting at this bar on Long Island. What they're betting on is who will have the most shootings on Labor Day weekend. Will it be New York or will it be Chicago? Is that a fun bet or is that a little bit too icky? Reporters went out and talked to some people on the street about that.
Definitely wrong. Like, who's gonna die? Like, this is just life we're talking about.
Is foolish at best and disgusting at its worst, because it isn't what we are about. It's not going to be tolerated and shouldn't be tolerated.
That's stupidity. Taking bets on what? Am I understand it's Chicago and New York? Yeah, petty.
Yeah. Ridiculous, ludicrous, stupid. I think I go along with all of that as well. Who's going to have most shootings? Is it New York or is it Chicago? Oh, boy. Is Bob with us yet?
Yeah, we got him.
All right, I was going to, I see. My watch just jingled there. All right, thought I was going to do something else, but instead I'll go to Bob Westfall from the Big 7, WTRF-TV. Good morning, Bob.
Morning, Howard. How are you?
I am okay this morning. How are you, and how are things at the Big 7 today?
Well, they're busy as always. So we've got people out to the four corners of the world right now. I guess the biggest story is the American Civil Liberties Union of West Virginia has filed a lawsuit against the city of Wheeling, dealing with the destroying of homeless camps here in the city. So we're going to be following up on that today. DK actually did the piece yesterday on homeless camps and what is planned for that. And I had follow up today is the lawsuit that ACLU has filed against the city of Wheeling when it deals to these camps.
Let me first of all say DK did a really good job. That was an excellent story yesterday on the homeless camps. And we talked about it earlier in the show. I wrestle with this. I don't know. You know, my heart is with the ACLU and saying it's a bad thing. But on the other hand, I don't know what else you do. I look at the numbers the chief was talking about in DK's story. You know, the number of drug incidents, the number of felony fugitives who were there, the number of domestic cases, domestic abuse, and sexual assault. I don't know what you do. I don't know what you do. I hate this idea of moving the homeless away, but what do you do? I just don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, that's basically what the ACLU is saying here. They move it up, destroying the little shelter these community members have. It does nothing to solve the crisis of homelessness in the community. So I think maybe they're pushing for maybe some kind of I don't want to use the word coalition, but maybe a coalition of law enforcement, the charities and things like that help them to come up with some type of answer. Maybe it's time for somebody to step up and come up with a unique and something new when it comes to dealing with the homeless and try and cover all bases.
You know, I understand dealing with those who are the criminal elements inside the homeless camp, just as the criminal elements in any neighborhood in our community deal with the criminal elements. But the truth of the matter is there are root causes behind why many of these folks are homeless. And until we deal with root causes, they're still going to find themselves homeless. In the meantime, they're going to find themselves without their current home. What are we doing to make sure they've got somewhere to go? And I know a lot of folks don't like to talk about that. They don't want to hear, well, who cares about the homeless, you know, if they would just get jobs or what have you. They're human beings, and I have real concerns about them.
Yeah, there's all kinds of different, I know we've done stories over the years, and you're just kind of surprised each time about the new situations that have put these people in this kind of this situation of homelessness. So yeah, now it's heading to the courts. So we will have an update on that. DK's working on that as we speak.
What else are you working on?
A couple other things today is I think Governor Justice late last week said something to the effect that West Virginia is pushing the mid-80s when it comes to response to the 85% when it comes to the census. Ohio, especially Eastern Ohio, apparently is not doing so well when it comes to the census. So we're going to follow up on those numbers and try and get an update on that. A lot of the towns, I mean, every 10 years, it seems like some of these towns in Eastern Ohio are right on the border, whether they're a city or whether in Ohio you can drop to a village. So every year, it seems like every decade, every 10 years, you know, when the census is done, we're kind of questioning what these people are going to be cities or whether they're going to be villages, and that can hurt services. So we're going to follow up on those numbers today as well.
Yeah, if you can.
Justice has got a presser today, big announcement. I guess I read the press release late last night. It has to deal with broadband. So that could be interesting, especially with remote learning. We will have that. We will be streaming that press conference. It's supposed to start at 12:30. So we will have that on our website and our Facebook page. So that is kind of what we're dealing with today.
Sounds good. People can check it all out at noon, 5, 6, 10, 11, 5:30 statewide show. And, of course, get the news first at WTRF.com, where you'll find out all the stuff that's happening around the Ohio Valley, just like I do every day. And if you're looking about the weather, don't forget to check out the Storm Tracker 7 weather app as well. Lots of good ways to stay in touch with you guys, Bob. I appreciate your time this morning. We'll talk again tomorrow, wrapping up the week.
All right, sir. Have a good day.
Thanks a lot. Bob Westphal from the Big 7 WTRF TV. I will bet you there will be some more conversation tomorrow here on this show about the homeless situation as well. Speaking of bets, did you like my segue there, Blippi? Speaking of bets,
that was good.
By now, you probably have heard about FanDuel Sportsbook's world-class sports betting app. FanDuel makes it easy to find and place your bets. They have got some of the best odds you are going to find anywhere. And they even get you your winnings in as little as 24 hours. Now, there's a lot of reasons to try FanDuel Sportsbook, but here's one more. Right now, new users can place their first bet on FanDuel Sportsbook risk-free and get up to $1,000 back in site credit if you don't win. In other words, you place a bet, If you win, you win. Life is great. But if you lose, they'll replace that money up to $1,000 into your account, and you can use it again within 14 days to place another bet. You don't get do-overs from bookies. I'm going to tell you that right now. This is a pretty good deal from our friends at FanDuel. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app to get started. Sign in with my promo code Monroe. Use my name, MONROE. That way they know you listen to us here on the Watchdog Morning Show. FanDuel Sportsbook promo code Monroe. You must be 21 or older. You must be physically present in West Virginia or in New Jersey or Pennsylvania. This is for the first online real money wager only. The refund is issued as non-withdrawable site credit, and it does expire in 14 days. So if you're going to get your money back, you got to use it in 14 days. Restrictions do apply. Full terms and details are found at sportsbook.fanduel.com. If you have a gambling problem, and some people do, it's fun to gamble, fun to game. Do it, enjoy it, have a great time. But if you can't do it safely, if you can't do it judiciously, then call 1-800-GAMBLER and get some help. Very important you do that. 1-800-GAMBLER. Or visit www.1800gambler.net. FanDuel Sportsbook, promo code Monroe. More ways to win. Well, I guess that's about it for the morning. I got to wrap it up. Say sayonara, see you, bye-bye, farewell. I got to go. I got to get out of here. What the heck was that?
Poppy.
Kercheval's got the calm coming up next. Billy D is in at noon after the news. And, of course, it's the Donnie Gilbert radio show on the afternoon drive today with my old pal, Powerful Pierre, co-hosting. As for me, good Lord willing, creeks don't rise, backbone doesn't ring, I don't get impeached, I don't retire, ticker keeps on ticking, I don't overeat myself. And Teddy says, it's all right. You can get back in there tomorrow, Granddad. I'll be back tomorrow morning, 7 o'clock. Another go around to the big gig. Are you back with me, Beth?
I'm back ready to close out the week.
We're going to keep on doing it till we get it right.
That'll be a long time.
Indeed.
The Watchdog is FM 98.1, AM 1600 WKKX Wheeling, FM 97.7, AM 1370 WVLY Moundsville.
The ABC News is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
There haven't been.
All right, another day done. Yeah, I think so. We're made reasonably good show today. Not the world's best, but not too bad. Let's see, I think for the first time this week, I'm not coming in today, so I'll be around if you need me. Give me a call or anything. And did you say, I think it's a computer problem, not your problem, but I did not get yesterday's show. Did you save it yesterday? Yeah, that's what I thought. Just we have to. I can get in there. I'll try and, or maybe you can get in, try and reopen the Dropbox someplace. Because I didn't get it yesterday, and that was my thought too. Probably after they got online, they didn't fix the Dropbox. So, okay, if you can figure it out, fine. If not, we'll figure something else out, I guess. I don't know. All right. What's that? It is saved, though? All right, well, that's good. All right, we'll figure it out. Okay, have a great day. If you need me, give me a buzz. I'll be around. All right, thanks for your help, as always. Bye.
Labor Day, but many say they're still vacationing.
According to the travel planning company TripIt, Florida is this year's top choice for Labor Day. Orlando, Tampa, and Fort Lauderdale. Phoenix is also a top pick. All of this despite the COVID cases in Arizona and Florida.
ABC's Gio Benitez. Labor Department says 181,000 people filed first-time unemployment last week. This is ABC News.
Jay Farner here, CEO of Rocket Mortgage. Making the right financial decisions has never been more important. When you turn to Rocket Mortgage, we can help guide you to those right decisions now, when they matter most. Mortgage rates are near historic lows, so now is a great time to call 8338-ROCKET. And if you need some extra money, a cash-out refinance could give you that financial boost you're looking for. Call today at 8338-ROCKET or go to rocketmortgage.com to learn more.
Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states and NMLS